I gotta stress my mind too. See my cerebral cortex right now. My left brain is a little bit more stiff than my right brain because I'm naturally just more like right brain. Actually, I don't think I need to stretch my amygdala. It's pretty overactive.
How did sculpting your body bring you to mental aesthetics? Bring you to philosophy? How did the body bring you to the mind?
Plato. Because at that time when I took my first philosophy class, I was like still really into like just the physique and power and athletics in the body. But I took a philosophy class because I need to fulfill my credits, so I just picked philosophy, and it was the best intro to philosophy class ever because it's ancient Greek and Roman philosophy, and the main character, the main person that was studied was Plato, and then Plato, the reason why they call him Plato back in ancient Greece is because he has broad shoulders. He was athletic, he was a good wrestler, and then Plato means broad shoulder, and then the fact that back then, in the days of ancient Greek, they're very non-dual. It's not just like you have the body or you have the mind. Plato's and Socrates, all those people, they would go to like the wrestling room and they lift weights, do gymnastics, and talk about philosophy during their training because they realized that there's no separation between mental and physical aesthetics. And the fact that the soldiers back in Greek's time, the soldiers, they were actually trained in music. They took music dance classes because that helped with their physical and kinetic intelligence to be able to apply that sort of intelligence to the battlefield. And if you look at music is completely sort of quote-unquote physical. Like the way that you play the violin and you play the piano very, very fast, that your brain just like neurons firing really fast and very like punctual, and the contraction and the expansion of the loudness and softness of the music and the different notes. And film too. Film is very kinetic.
To itself, happen to itself, happen to itself. I think the imagination is one of the most important but overlooked factors in athleticism. The ability to visualize your motor skills clearly and distinctively the mind is essential for the mind-muscle or body-work connection required in all athletic events. I think some of the most explosive and gifted athletes are right brain dominant if you believe in the left-right brain dichotomy. So the right brain dominant people are the creative types who can hold clear images in the minds of what they wish to become or accomplish. See, when you visualize yourself playing basketball or lift weights or sprint, what you're essentially doing is creating an avatar of yourself to be exported into real life or onto the court. See, the better you are at engineering or generating and manipulating the program of your own hologram internally, the more efficient your Mitsu will move externally. See, from the non-dual perspective, when the line or duality between mind, body, self, and other and the world is raised, there is no difference between the avatar in the athlete's mind and the athlete in real life who is visualizing that avatar and inside a television or in your mind when you're perceiving that image. See, the whole universe is just avatar within avatars, where the parts contain the whole and vice versa. In a sense, we're already born into VR. Our everyday conscious experience is nothing more than a mental construct and a representation. And we become so identified with the protagonist or the main character, which again is just an avatar, that we forgot we're actually the screen. And I think the world is waking up to itself as the difference between the virtual and the real is now almost indistinguishable. From the neurobiological and the human dimension, athletes practice movements over and over again mentally. Their neurons are already firing and priming and synchronizing to the physical, muscular patterns of their bodies. See, there's little difference to me between creating a sculpture or creating a painting or performing a vertical jump or squat PR. Australian psychologist Alan Richardson made a little experiment. He took a group of athletes, basketball players to be exactly, divided them up into 3 groups, and tested each player's ability to make free throws. The first group would practice 20 minutes every day. The second would only visualize themselves making free throws, but no real practice was allowed. The third one would not practice or visualize. The results were astonishing. There was significant improvements on the group that only visualized. They were almost as good as the guys who actually practiced. The same experiment was conducted for piano players. See, some of the most explosive athletes tend to display explosiveness also in emotion and temper.
So you would literally have the guy sit in stillness,
That's right.
meditating.
That's right.
Turns out that the best way to get into flow state is to get into this state of non-duality. See, I got into lifting 10 years ago because I wanted to jump higher and run faster. 10 years later, things seem to have come full circle. It's consciousness work. It's almost exactly the same in terms of programming and mindset as plyometrics, vertical jumps, strength, and explosive training. At the last portion of this video, I'm going to show you a new meditation technique that I picked up called speed meditation or mental plyometrics.
Well, when I first started lifting weights, the only thing I cared about was speed and quickness. I just wanted, since I was a kid, I was just obsessed with big cats, especially the cheetah, and I just wanted to be really fast. And then I realized after I got older, I started to observe sprinters because I realized I couldn't really be a cheetah. I just wanted to be the fastest organism in the world. And then I realized I was a human, so then I started to observe and inquire into do research on sprinters, and I was like, whoa, they'll have really incredible and strong physique and really low body fat, a lot of muscles, especially the deltoids, because when you sprint, the deltoid is one of the most important muscles along with your posterior chain, your glutes and hamstrings. Because I realized form and function are the same thing, so if I want to be fast like the sprinters who run a sub 10 100-meter dash, I have to at least look like them. So I just kept eating and kept eating. I went from 120 pounds to 160 pounds because all the sprinters on average 160 pounds. So I started lifting because I wanted to be fast. I only care about speed. You could say I only care about the body, but at the same time, speed is the intrinsic quality. It's like a quality of almost like the mind, not really physical. Because speed, it's kind of like speed is like the creativity or the intelligence, and the body is kind of like the brain. And I was really always just more into the software, I guess. But then I realized software and hardware are one and the same thing. I'm doing a speed workout. I'll be really fast.
Come on, let's go. I'm gonna call the security.
I'll just do a 50-second sprint.
Please, respect my class. Come on, let's go.
So despite what people think, meditation is all about speed and quickness. You know, when people think of meditation, they think of being calm and being slow, and you're just kind of lost in this trance. But from my experience, meditation is all about agility of the mind. How fast can you catch sensations or thoughts? See, in the beginning, when you start practicing, you can only catch maybe one thought every 10 seconds. And when I talk about thoughts and sensations, they're the same thing. Thoughts, feelings, body sensations, emotions, the voice in your head, all those are just sensations arising and passing. And see, meditation is like a video game or an athletic event or playing ping pong. You're smashing sensations with your awareness. Sort of like one of those arcade games where the chipmunk comes out and then you just hammer it really hard. It's kind of like that. So at first you can catch maybe one sensation every 5 to 10 seconds. But then just the fact that I'm sitting here, there are literally hundreds of sensations passing through my awareness right now, but I'm not conscious of it. But eventually you want to, become more athletic and quicker with your mind, and you want to be able to catch 5, 10, 15 sensations a second until your mind becomes the speed of light, and then everything freezes and you have a satori coming out of your anus. So you feel the screen of your consciousness. It flips inside out from behind your eyes to congeal itself into a whole field, a 360-degree field, a panoramic vision of awareness, a flux of awareness, kind of like my 360-degree video.